Hey everyone, I'm Vladimir Dutit. Thank you for joining us. Super Tuesday is still 2 days away, but there is increasing evidence Republican frontrunner Donald Trump will go a long way in locking up the Republican nomination. The big prize is Texas, and it's 155 delegates, but Mr. Trump will be hard-pressed to win there because CBS News polling shows Ted Cruz still leading in his home state. Trump trails by 11 points, and Marco Rubio is in third with 19%. But Trump dominates the second and third most delegate-rich states. In Georgia, with 76 delegates, Mr. Trump has support from 40% of likely voters. Ted Cruz is in second with 29%, and Marco Rubio in third with 22%. Trump also leads the race for Virginia's 49 delegates. He has 40% there. Rubio's in second with 27%, and Cruz is third with 22%. Now, despite his wide lead, Trump tweeted this warning to the GOP early this morning. The Republican establishment has been pushing for lightweight Senator Marco Rubio to say anything to hit Trump. I signed the pledge. Careful. Mr. Trump is referring to a loyalty pledge he signed last fall, promising to support the eventual Republican nominee. But he told John Dickerson on Face the Nation that the Republican Party isn't holding up their end of the bargain.
I don't think it's fair the way that the establishment is treating Donald Trump. I'll be honest. And I signed a pledge. And I will, abide by the pledge unless they default. But as far as I'm concerned, they're defaulting.
So you wouldn't abide by the pledge right here, right now? You wouldn't abide by the pledge because you think they're defaulting?
Well, I think you understand exactly what's going on. You just pick up any paper, and it's always talking about how are we going to overthrow Donald Trump. I'm representing millions of people that have really feel angry and disenfranchised. And these are great people, and they like me, and I love them. And I'll tell you what, we're not being treated right. The Republican Party is not treating me right, and they're not treating the people that I represent right.
And John Dickerson is with us from Washington. John, good to see you.
Hey, Vlad, good to see you.
So not treating me well is something Trump used to mention a lot regarding a third-party run, but now he has a very clear path to the nomination. So is there anything to be gained from these types of threats?
Well, he likes to keep them hopping, and this kind of keeps everybody on edge in the Republican Party. And it's basically a chaos theory. It's don't do too much, because what he holds now is more, though, than when he used to make the threats before. When he made the threats before, it was just the idea that he might be popular and that he might draw votes away from the Republican Party or create chaos. But now he has actually got a number of people who went out and voted in caucuses and primaries, or in one caucus and primaries. And now there are human beings who have invested in him, and that's going to keep continuing. And that's something that gives him even more leverage. And so he's sort of, saying he's flashing that leverage at this point.
You also spoke to Senator Marco Rubio, and I want to play a little bit of that sound.
Donald Trump is a world-class con artist. He conned all these people that signed up for Trump University. Now he's trying to do the same thing to Republican voters. He's trying to convince them that somehow he's the guy that's going to stand up to illegal immigration, but he hires illegal immigrants. That he's fighting for American workers, but he's hiring foreign workers for his hotels. That he's going to bring back jobs from China and from Mexico, but in fact he's creating jobs in China and Mexico because that's where all of his suits and ties that he sells are made. It's a con job. It's a scam. And we're going to unveil it here. We're going to reveal it. And I believe the more people learn about that, the less support he's going to have in the weeks to come.
So, John, sort of a two-point question. One, I can't count how many times I've heard Marco Rubio say con job or con man and Donald Trump in the same sentence, which was a criticism earlier that he was sort of robotic. Are we seeing him slip back into that? But on the other hand, he's become a lot more aggressive. The question on that part is it too late?
Right. Well, if politicians were going to be in trouble for repetition, the entire political class would be in constant trouble. Having said that, you're exactly right. He has, because of Chris Christie and now what Donald Trump is doing to him, he has a different barrier on that question. So that might remind some people of that weakness of his. But in politics, which Ronald Reagan learned this, and good politicians all know that the only way to get your message across is to repeat it. And what he's trying to say is that Donald Trump has fooled the voters. The problem with that, as Jamel Bouie pointed out in our roundtable on Face the Nation, is that you're telling voters they were fools. And that's tricky business because people tend to get angry and lock in tighter if you say they've been fooled. And there are a lot of people who have a very clear reason why they like Donald Trump. And so to say that they've been fooled is not good. So you're not going to get those votes. And is that strategy an inroad into a new set of voters? I'm not sure. We'll have to see. On this too little, too late problem, I think you have to look at it this way. If Marco Rubio had been doing what he's doing now against Donald Trump, and we can talk about whether it's effective, the actual tactics he's using, but if he'd been doing this 3 months ago, he would have been just like the others who have tried to do that. You may remember those others because none of them are in the race anymore. And so it would have been A, potentially a failure, and B, any attack that came out 3 months ago would sort of be old news today. The attacks that Marco Rubio is making now, the things he's talking about, Trump University, questions about Donald Trump's taxes, question about his hiring practices, both foreign workers at his resort in Florida, but then also undocumented workers, Polish workers in New York, that for some voters may be new information. And in a situation where voters who are uncertain about who they want to go with are getting new information and have a limited number of candidates to go to who aren't Donald Trump, they can, in theory, go just to Marco Rubio. Earlier, if those same people were uncertain about who to go to, they would have gone to several different candidates. So it may not be too late in terms of using the opposition material against Donald Trump. What may be too late is something that was baked into this from the beginning, which is that he has an ability to talk to voters that is just more real, authentic, and long-lasting than any other candidate who's running against him.